David and King Saul. Saul was still the king, and he still did not like David, even though David had not done anything wrong. King Saul was told, David is in the desert of En-Gedi. So Saul arranged for 3,000 young men from Israel to form a troop to look for David and his men near the crag of the wild goats. Saul searched and searched and searched for David, but he couldn't find him. They followed the trail, but they could never quite catch him. One day, while they were searching, King Saul saw a cave, and he needed the loo. So he nipped inside to use it like a toilet, not realising that inside the cave was David and his men. David and his men were at the back of the cave in the darkness. And one of them said to David,
"This is the day the Lord spoke of when he said to you, I will give you your enemy into your hands for you to deal with as you wish."
Then David crept towards Saul silently. He crept across the cave, avoiding the light, and stood very close to Saul. David reached out and got hold of Saul's robe and began to cut it, and he cut off a section. Saul was so busy using the toilet, he did not even notice. David crept back to the corner of the cave, and he said to his men,
"The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, or lay my hands on him, for he is the Lord's anointed."
David told the men, "It's not right. We must not attack Saul." And Saul finished using the toilet and left the cave and went on his way out back into the desert. David and the men stayed silent and still while Saul left the cave. Once Saul was a safe distance away, David went out of the cave and shouted in a big, loud voice,
"My lord, the king."
When Saul looked at David, David bowed down with his face to the ground. And then David began to speak.
"Why do you listen when men say, 'David is bent on harming you'? This day you have seen with your own eyes how the Lord delivered you into my hands in the cave. Some urged me to kill you, but I spared you. I said, I will not lay my hand on my Lord, because he is the Lord's anointed. See, my father, look at this piece of your robe in my hand. I cut off the corner of your robe, but I did not kill you. See that there is nothing in my hand to indicate that I am guilty of wrongdoing or rebellion. I have not wronged you, but you are hunting me down to take my life. May the Lord judge between you and me, and may the Lord avenge all the wrongs you have done to me. But my hand will not touch you. As the old saying goes, from evil doers come evil deeds, and so my hands will not touch you. Against whom has the king of Israel come out? Who are you pursuing? A dead dog, a flea? May the Lord be our judge and decide between us. May he consider my cause and uphold it. May he vindicate me by delivering me from your hand."
When David had finished speaking, Saul replied,
"Is that your voice, David, my son?"
and he began to cry.
"You are more righteous than I,"
said Saul.
"You have treated me well, but I have treated you badly. You have just told me about the good you did to me. The Lord delivered me into your hands, but you did not kill me. When a man finds his enemy, does he let him go away unharmed? May the Lord reward you well for the way you treated me today. I know that you will surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel will be established in your hands. Now swear to me by the Lord that you will not kill off my descendants or wipe out my name from my father's family."
So David made a promise right there on the spot to Saul that he would do the right thing. Then Saul went home. But David and his men went up to the stronghold, a safe place. But Saul did not stop trying to catch David. He did not stop trying to stop him being the next king. But it was okay, because God had a plan and he was at work.